the impact it has across board on children, on women, women that are pregnant and issues around maternal and child health and maternal and child mortality, and the fact that malaria is preventable. So why don't we deal with it? The fact that malaria is a public health concern. Okay, so it's important that we actually give it that voice and, deal.
Yes, we've kind of lost the audio momentarily. If you can hear me.
With it. And also the fact that malaria on its own is as well, and why hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay,
ahead,
so
yes.
I said, so the economic consequences of it, there are also the public health concern, a major concern it is, and the fact that it is preventable, and the fact that you can find malaria affecting many other health areas and health conditions. So women who are pregnant, you find malaria issues in it, for children, for families. So it affects everyone. So it's an important area. Thank you very much.
Well, I would argue that we've lived with malaria virtually all our lives. So why is this still such a big problem in many parts of the world? And really, how does it affect families? Could you tell us a bit about that?
So it's a major problem in many parts of the world. It's a major problem in Nigeria. Nigeria actually is leading the global burden. And Nigeria contributes about 27% to that global burden. And for families, wow. When a child has malaria, what happens is that the parents, everyone in the house actually is disturbed. Parents will not go to work, then the child will actually be absent from school. So you have absenteeism from school. Then you also would have the fact that every other person can also get it. That's what it means. And it rates economic capacity of the family, because on those days they won't go to work. And if there are people who earn daily, it means they've lost that income of that day, as well as catastrophic expenditures that they find in facilities, because they have to do the test, buy the medication, nurse whoever is ill. And if it is the father or mother that is ill, ooh la la, that becomes another issue. So you find out that they are ill and they may not be able to take care of the family at that time. So it has a lot of impact on the family, and the impact is really gross impact, economic impact, social impact, care, the impact of care, and also the potential that they can lose a child or lose someone because of malaria. So it can also lead to death, and that is a very great impact that you can see there.
Absolutely. And as a matter of fact, it's a fight that we cannot afford to leave to government alone. So partnership will come to play here. So what's the impact of partnership in combating malaria? And could you just possibly give us an example of a successful partnership? I know you've been into many that you've been involved in.
Yeah. Okay, so partnership is very critical. Actually, you can't do this alone. The government can't do it alone. And partnership, over the years actually has helped us gain some grounds, make some successes, and make some impact happen in Nigeria and globally. So partnership promotes us increasing resources. So the resource mobilization effort is increased because, one, government funding has not been as it should be. So you're increasing resources, people are bringing in their resources, private sector, government, international development agencies, and it promotes research as well. So partnership helps us deal with the issues of research, with scientists, with academicians, with also advocates who are working on the field. And then you also have partnership that help with capacity building. Not everybody knows what to do or what should be happening. So you're building capacity across board, at community level, at health facility level. You're building capacity of leadership in different sectors. And these are all things you have to do together. And also even in programs in advocacy, in integration of programs. So you'll have a sanitation program, you can integrate malaria into it. This is where partnership works. And even in policy and also community engagement. I have been involved in series of partnerships. So you have the partnership with the Global Fund supporting a country, Nigeria. You have the partnership. The current one that is on is the Presidential Malaria Initiative, which the USAID is funding. And you have it coming in, helping with distribution of nets, helping with vector control, helping with sanitation works, helping with capacity building, helping with strengthening health systems and building support within the health facilities. And these are elements that are important in this fight against malaria. Families need to understand what they need to do.
Absolutely.
They need to do what they need to do at the community level, and also, everyone doing their bit built up that significant outcome and success that we have against malaria.
Absolutely. And I see that you've done quite a lot under the Rotary umbrella. We know that Rotary says that we are people of action, but we'll come to that later. Now, talking about, let's bring it home a bit. How can ordinary people and families, contribute to the fight against malaria in their communities? Yes, you've touched on it, but could you give us a little more detail on what exactly we expect them to do?
Okay, ordinary people are people like I and you, and people in the community, people who live everyday lives, individuals and family members, both father, mother, and children. So what can you do really to contribute to this? One is to ensure that in your location there's no stagnant water, first of all, so that you have clean environment, waste is managed properly, and that you have the right awareness and the right knowledge that is required for this. So you're spreading and you're teaching the right knowledge, not just what's not correct. Then that you use the insecticide treated nets, the bed nets that are available to you. You also have early treatment and the right diagnosis. So once you have a symptom, you go to the hospital, you get tested, and then you also get treated. And then you don't go to treat yourself without getting tested. That's wrong. So you have to be tested, found to have malaria before you're treated. These are ways that you can help. And also, if you're a health worker or you work in the health space, another way is to support in the primary healthcare system, to ensure that people who come in to receive service receive the right service and are attended in the right way and are treated well in such a way that they can live a good life over the period. I think this will help.
Yeah, certainly that will help. And I mean, what I'm thinking about now is that you can't even rely on that alone. We need to give a little pressure by way of advocacy. So you've worked with many organizations and governments. Could you just tell us how policy advocacy helps in reducing malaria cases?
Wow, policy advocacy is very critical. I think it has helped, in the fight against malaria over the years extensively. So one will be in legislation and regulation. Okay, so we need policy advocacy to ensure that we have the right legislation, the right regulation. Okay, so things like treatment, medications, test kits. So all the regulation around it, whether it's the production, the manufacturing, whatever it is related to such things. So advocacy has also helped in increasing funding, okay, pointing the searchlight to where need is, where you have high burden, where you have a lot of people living and you have a lot of, endemic malaria situation. Okay, advocacy has led to focus